What's up everyone, Ronnie Chavez here, and you may be wondering, well, what 10 parkour moves can anyone learn? Well, I'm going to show you these basic parkour moves that without any coaching or training or learning in a gym, you can find pretty much anywhere to learn these moves that anyone of any physical capability can learn these basic parkour moves. And the reason why is because parkour is based off of basic human movements. So we're going to go with some of these movements and show you how you can use things you already know how to do and then evolve it and progress it into awesome parkour moves in your parkour journey. Before we jump into that, I wanted to let you know about my t-shirts that I have on my website. I'll have a link in the description to those. Right now I'm rocking the Street Boss shirt, which is totally rad if you feel like you're a boss of the streets, especially after watching this video and going out and learning parkour. I think you definitely can rock one of these. But either way, I got some other shirts with my logos, and if you're a fan of parkour and a fan of my channel and videos and want to support the content I'm creating, every t-shirt you buy helps accomplish that. So if you want to check that out, it would be much appreciated. But if not, no worries. I appreciate you watching this video, and let's jump into it. Follow me. So the first parkour move that anyone can learn, I'm going to start out with something you're probably all familiar with, is the basic safety roll. Now, the safety roll is the thing you see when people in parkour videos are jumping off high things and landing on ground and then quickly going into kind of a shoulder angled roll on their back. The reason why that's so important is because it helps you disperse impact and helps you be safe when you're training. If you fall, you can quickly go into a safety roll to absorb any impact from a crash landing. The whole key of the safety roll is that you're not doing a somersault, but you're rolling diagonal across your back to avoid rolling directly on your spine. And you can use your arms and hands to kind of roll over it. You're going to tuck your head to the side because you don't want to go directly over your head because that's dangerous. And then you're basically going to slowly progress into it. In practice, you can start from your hands and knees, and then work into it, and then slowly build your way up to where you're standing, and then fully jumping into the safety roll. For a full tutorial on this move, I'll be sure to include a link in the description, but this is a move that anyone can learn as long as you're able to go down on the ground and slowly roll onto your back. Alright, while we're here in this grass, the next basic parkour move that anyone can learn is actually what is called quadrupedal movement. And this is great for conditioning and exercising and learning practical coordination with your whole body for other parkour movements you'll be doing. Now, what's great about quadrupedal movement is that you can practice very similar parkour vaults and other things you'll see. So for example, if I want to practice a Kong vault on a rail or a ledge, I can actually practice the motion on flat ground first. Now I may be doing quadrupedal stuff kind of weird because I do have a wrist injury right now, so I have to do it on my fist, but that's just showing that, you know, I can learn to adapt and still do basic parkour movement even with an injury. So you have your basic quadrupedal motion, which is just running like a dog on all fours. You can even try some of the weirder vaults like speed vaults or reverse vaults. You know, it's all just about experimenting and just moving your body. And that's the thing, is you can just experiment with what your body's capable of. And that's why quadrupedal movement is our second basic parkour movement anyone can do. So, for the third parkour move that anyone can do is balance. Now, balance may seem scary to do on something like this, like a handrail, but the beautiful thing with balance is you can literally practice it on anything to get comfortable with your balance. You don't have to start up on a high handrail yet. You can actually find something simple like a curb or a ledge or a very low rail and practice your balance there. Balance is all about being focused and in the moment and having control of each step you take and learning to control your foot placement. Even with steps, that can be tricky if you're not used to doing it. But starting on simple objects like a crack in the ground or on a curb, It's something you can start getting comfortable with and slowly work your way onto more difficult objects to balance on. So now that you've learned balance, we can move on to our fourth parkour move that anyone can do, which is precision jumping. Now, precision jumping may seem scary. Like, for example, see these two handrails here? I've learned how to balance on one handrail, and I'm comfortable with jumping between two. So that's a basic precision jump, but if you've never done it before, that can be dangerous to jump between two handrails. So literally what you can do to make it simple, kind of like we did with balance, you can find two cracks on the ground and practice aiming your jump to land in a precision jump. Now with precision jumps, remember you want to land on the balls of your feet, because that's going to give you the most control and room for error if your feet slip a little bit on a handrail. But you can just practice basic precision jumping on lines in the ground. And then once you have that down, you can actually, like we did with balance, move to a curb so you get the feeling of what it's like to actually jump to an edge without worrying about falling off or tripping or anything like that. And the beautiful thing is you can progress at your own rate. So you can start small, get a feel for hitting that precision, and then work your way back as you get comfortable going bigger and bigger. Before we move on with the other parkour movements anyone can do, something to keep in mind that's awesome with parkour is that any of these movements, these basic movements, you can combine and create a combination of movements. So for example, kind of like the precision jump, it's doing one balance jump to another balance jump. I can be balancing, jump to the ground, and go into a roll. So already there's multiple ways that we can connect these very basic movements we're doing. All right, let's move on to our first vault. Anyone can learn how to vault, especially if you're doing the safety vault. Now, what is the safety vault? Let me demonstrate for you. The safety vault is using one hand and one leg on an object to safely get yourself over that object. It can be used fast or for great jumps and leaps, and it's just a fun move to do. Now on those ones I was moving fast, but when starting out with this move, you don't have to go fast at all. You can actually go as slow as you like. Starting out this move, you're simply going to find a nice ledge or object that's low enough for you to jump up onto, so that you can use one hand, even two hands if you want, for support, so that you can then jump one leg up onto it, generally the opposite leg of your main support hand, and then you'll bring your middle leg all the way through. Now even if that's too much in the beginning, you can simply just pop up and carry yourself over. And just practicing that motion builds your coordination. Even if starting out it feels silly to do, you got to start somewhere, and as you practice you'll feel it become smoother and more fluid, and in no time you'll be hitting safety vaults and speed vaults like a champ. Now I do have a full tutorial on the safety vault, so be sure to check that out in the description below. Now one of my favorite things in parkour is wall running and tic-tacs, because this is like the closest thing to feeling like a superhero or a video game character, where you're running at a wall and running along it or running up it. Beautiful thing is, this is like super easy to practice anywhere you have a wall, and you don't have to be able to get on top of a wall or anything like that. You can just practice the basic motion of doing a wall run, running up a wall, or a horizontal wall run, or tic-tac, which is running along a wall, kind of like Prince of Persia. To get started on the wall run, it's basically like how it sounds. You're gonna run towards the wall, lift your foot up, generally about hip height, and push off the wall. You can just practice pushing off in different directions, away, pushing yourself up. Make sure you know how grippy your shoe is on the wall, and just get comfortable with it. And try multiple steps, and just having fun and experimenting. I also have in-depth tutorials on the wall run and the tic-tac, so be sure to check out those tutorials if you want to really master the wall run and tic-tac. So for our 8th parkour move that anyone can learn, it's going to be another vault, which is the turn vault. Now the turn vault can be done in some pretty crazy ways, but it can also be done very simply. The basic turn vault is doing a vault over a handrail and turning yourself as you do it so that you can land on the opposite side of the handrail to let yourself down off of a drop or just to get over the handrail. The basic motion looks like this, but you can also do it very slowly. If it's a low handrail, you can even awkwardly step over it to get comfortable with the motion. Just make sure that you don't put too much weight right on the center, if you know what I'm saying. Make sure that if you do it that way, you put the weight on your leg and do a little hop, whatever's necessary. But as you practice that motion, you can slowly jump into it more and more until you're doing a full turn vault. The goal is to just bring your feet back towards where you took off so that you're landing close to where you're vaulting. Now remember how I mentioned you can combine moves? Well, again, we've learned the tic-tac, the wall run, the turn vault, the precision jump. You can combine all of these moves and get creative with it. Remember, with any combination you try, you want to start small and work your way up. I know I've probably said that 100 times, but it's so important to remember that so that you're always safe in your training. So all of our movements up to this point have been utilitarian based, movements that can get you efficiently from one point to another. This next one is actually meant to add a little bit of flair if you're interested in getting more in the free running world and adding some style to your movements and not just being focused on utilitarian and efficiency. Well, this next one is just basic spinning. Now, what's the point of spinning, you may ask? Well, one, it'll make you dizzy, and if you love getting dizzy because it's like a high for you, then you know, it's awesome. No, I'm just joking. It's not fun getting dizzy. But the more you get spinning, the less you'll get dizzy as you do it over time. So if you feel like you get dizzy really fast, that's just something your brain will get used to as you do it a lot. And the reason why I want to teach you basic spinning is because you can incorporate this with any of the previous moves we've done. You can do spins to precision jumps while you're balancing off of tic-tacs and wall runs. But to practice it starting out, you just want to practice on flat ground and just practice basic jump. Set your arms as you're turning, kind of set your torso in a twist, and then let your hips and feet follow. And you can just start with the basic 90 turn, or 180, or 360, or 540. You can practice going both ways, eventually do a 720. The other thing to keep in mind when practicing spins is that it is easy to get thrown off axis. So make sure you start it out slow so you can get comfortable with the motion of spinning, and also focus on your feet placement so that you can always try and land in a consistent area. So that way if you start working into doing precision jumps with spins, you know exactly how you need to spin to land on a precise object. So for our 10th parkour move that anyone can learn, we're gonna need to go to a new location, which is just a playground, which most of you I'm sure can find a playground. So let's transport there right now. All right, made it to the playground. Now we can move on to our last move, which is the basic bar swing or bar leap. Now what this is, it's swinging on a bar and then getting momentum and using that momentum to jump out as far as you can away from the bar. The only requirement you'll need for this move is the ability to hold your own body weight from a hang. You don't need to be able to do pull-ups or anything, just be able to hold your body weight just long enough that you can get a little bit of a kick or a jump from the swing. And if you can't even do that yet, you can just build your strength by just practicing the hang, and over time you'll have enough strength to do the bar swing. To do the bar leap, you want to get a little bit of momentum, and as you're swinging forward, you kind of pick your feet up and kick them out, and you just want to make sure that you bring your chest forward as well. You don't want to swing out and then just let go and allow yourself to fall backwards. So start small so you can work into it and then go bigger and bigger. Once again, just to get your creative juices flowing, I'm going to show you one example of how you can combine this move with another move such as the precision jump. So there you have it. There are 10 parkour moves that anyone can learn. Now obviously I recognize that there are people out there who may have disabilities or other things that may make it harder to even do some of these parkour moves. And the beautiful thing is that there's an adaptation for everything. I've seen people who only have one leg who can do all of what I'm doing and even more. They're better than me. It's all about how you're able to push yourself, what you're willing to put your mind to, and just being open-minded about the possibilities, and just always remembering to have fun with it. As long as you're having fun, you'll progress, because progression just comes as you do things consistently. And if you have fun doing it and you're enjoying yourself, then that makes it easy to go out and do it all the time, and it's great exercise. So, if you've watched this video all the way through, I thank you for watching this video. I've hoped it's helped you in giving you some ideas to be creative in your own movements, or if you've never even done parkour, to even just get started on some basic movements. Remember, I have a playlist of tutorials you can check out to help you get started on each of these moves, so be sure to check those out. And one other thing I wanted to add, that if you happen to live in Utah, which is where I'm located, I'm also starting private lessons. So if you've wanted to have one-on-one coaching to help you feel a little bit more comfortable or safer, to have someone there to teach you the basics and to teach you parkour, whether it's at an advanced level or a basic level, I'm doing private lessons, and you can email me at ronniestreetstunts@gmail.com and include in the subject private lessons, and I'll be sure to reply to you, and we can set up a time and figure out what the pricing would be. So if that's something you're interested in and are close by to do that, then be sure to hit that up. But otherwise, if not, no worries. My tutorials are enough for you to learn parkour on your own, as long as you're self-motivated and determined to learn parkour. So be sure to subscribe for more tutorials, and as always, thank you for watching.